So thank you so much for watching this video. So today I'm going to be sharing about how to help your student organization and officer transition as a student advisor. A student organization advisor is key for organizations when they transition their executive boards to have a seamless and flawless transition. That way we're not, they're not reinventing the wheel, they're not redoing things, and that way the old executive can share with their new executive things that they learned, things they wish to do better, and that way to also build upon success that the organization had. So we're going to go through this and I'm going to give you some tips and some things that you can do to help this transition happen smoothly. So the first question that a lot of people ask me is, how involved should I be as an advisor? And my answer is that you can be involved as you would like to be. I always encourage the advisors to be involved at some point. That way the students who are in the organization have a face. They can always come to you for any kind of help or anything like that. So they say it's up to you. You can be as involved as you would like to be, and also all depends on the students that you have coming in and out. A lot of times you might have a really rock star group coming in that can kind of handle on their own, and sometimes you might have a group of all new members, and so you have to be a little bit more involved. As a student organization advisor, I myself, along with your students, really rely on you to provide them guidance and to help assist them through anything from their 25 Lives reservations for ideas, especially with this part of their organization. All right, so how important is it for a successful transition? The biggest thing with this is this helps the new board not reinvent the wheel. So we find out a lot of times too, dependent on your organization, that if you have a good transition from this past year into the next board, that if they had some successes and they were building on things, they don't have to start from the beginning, right? They can kind of pick off from where the old board left off, right? It also allows for outgoing leadership to share what they want to do and maybe were never able to do. Like, let's say the classes got too much, or one event or one idea or project kind of took over the others. They can share that with the new board, and hopefully that new board or the new leadership can take that over and continue what the success that was going. It also helps the organization not to restart, but to also just to keep growing. Every time you do a transition of leadership and you start from stage one every single time, then your organization is never going to grow. They're not going to be able to retain membership, as well as continue just to grow in their programs and ideas that they're sharing. All right, one thing that I always like to tell students as well as the organization is that they should have something called a bus binder. And essentially what this is this is a binder that if something were to ever happen, the phrase is, if you ever get hit by a bus, someone can continue running it, right? But if something were ever happen, that this binder could be handed off to the next person, and they could pick up right where the other person left off, right? And so there's a lot of important information that goes into this, including things like passwords and usernames for social media, for any kind of other account, for your Presence account, things like that. Previous budgets, that way people can understand what was spent, maybe what to ask for, maybe find out why maybe something was so little, what to give money for, maybe a new proposal budget that the old board had, different policies, things like your bylaws for your organization, policies for the university, anything that you believe might be relevant for the new leadership to know, and just any kind of other important information that you feel is good, right? The goal for this is whoever holds it is able to run the organization. All right, another cool thing and a great thing that you can do is to make introductions. So I would suggest, if at the very least, to schedule a meeting with the outgoing leadership and celebrate everything that they've done. What I like to do with my organizations is I like to allow the old leadership and the new leadership to have some kind of dinner, or even just a social hour of some sort. And so that allows for them to get to know each other. They can also kind of pick their brains. If the outgoing president sits next to the new coming president, they can kind of share what it is that they're going through. As well as it kind of just is a really lighthearted way. You can also celebrate what the old leadership is doing. Maybe do like a little awards banquet or something like that. And that way the new leadership can kind of know this is what our old leaders were doing. That's what we have to live up to. Also be sure to introduce the new leadership to people they might need to know. Depending on your organization, you might need to introduce them to your office managers, if it's an academic organization, if it's with student life, if it's with athletics, because a lot of time your office managers are going to be dealing with the money, with the reimbursements, things like that. And any other faculty and staff that you feel are relevant for them to know. If it's one of your colleagues or your coworkers who's really involved, be sure that they know who to go to, or if there's something that someone does better than you do, be sure that they know who to go to when they need help. Another big thing to do is to always be encouraging. Um, Supporting this new leadership in this organization is going to be key, because depending on the situation, they might not have even wanted the position that they got. If for some reason that position was left open, they kind of got thrown into it. Encouraging that person to be the best that they can be and provide leadership and assistance to them will be key for them as they move on to their new position. Again, you know your organization and you know how involved you need to be. For me personally, most of my organizations, I have to be really involved with them. So I know that I have to have a hand on one-on-one meetings with the new people. But if you really feel that the new people coming in, or even just letting your old leadership take the lead on doing these introductions, stuff like that, if you just want to be there as support, that's up to you as well. And always remember this too, that students want you more involved than you think that they might, or that they might let on. They really do appreciate your thoughts and your concerns and your advice. So they might not show it all the time, but just know that they are always there. That you are always there will be a lot of help to them, knowing that they have a faculty or staff member, a university official who has their back no matter what. So those are just a few things that help you through that transition. If you need any help, I am more than willing to sit down with you, have a meeting, or talk with you in any shape, way, or form. My email is on the screen, as well as my phone number, so please get in contact with me anytime you need it. Thanks.